It's 1945 and World War II rages across land, sea, and sky. In the Pacific theater, air superiority has become a crucial factor, with each dogfight tipping the scales of battle in just mere seconds. The U.S. Navy urgently needed a new aircraft, something fast, agile, and resilient enough to dominate the skies against Japanese forces. And they knew who exactly to turn to: Grumman Aircraft Engineering Corporation. Grumman was already a household name in military aviation, and they were known for building some of the toughest and most reliable planes in the sky. Their aircraft were popularly known as Iron Works because they were rugged, durable, and could take the harsh conditions of war, especially the hard landings on aircraft carriers. Grumman's planes, like the F8F Wildcat and F8F Hellcat, had proven themselves time and time again in the Pacific theater, helping the U.S. achieve air superiority over the Japanese. But Grumman wasn't satisfied with past success alone. They were ready to take things to the next level by building something faster and more agile, something that would dominate the skies in a way no other fighter had before. The U.S. Navy needed the ultimate carrier-based interceptor, one that could launch from short aircraft carrier decks, get into the fight as fast as possible, and win. It was a tall order, but Grumman had a reputation for tackling challenges like these head-on. The new plane would be called the F8F Bearcat, and the design process was ambitious from the start. Led by Chief Engineer Leroy Grumman and designer Bill Schwendler, the Grumman team set out to create a plane that was lighter, faster, and more maneuverable than anything the Navy had ever seen. But achieving this meant focusing on two key factors: minimizing weight and maximizing engine power. For the engine, they selected one of the most powerful radial options available, the Pratt & Whitney R2800 Double Wasp. This engine was the heart of the plane, and it provided a lot of power. The R2800 could generate up to 2,400 horsepower, which was more than enough to push the Bearcat through the skies at incredible speeds. But to make sure the Bearcat took full advantage of all that power, Grumman's engineers worked tirelessly on making the rest of the plane as light as possible. To achieve this, they used lightweight materials and trimmed the airframe down to the essentials. They also shortened the wings, which not only improved the plane's ability to roll and turn quickly, similar to how a smaller boat can turn more easily than a larger one, but it also made the plane easier to operate on aircraft carriers where space was small. Despite all the emphasis on making the Bearcat light and compact, the team never sacrificed strength. The balance was achieved by using advanced materials and reinforcing critical areas, allowing the plane to remain rigid and durable despite its reduced weight. After all, this was a Grumman plane, and it had to be able to handle the rough landings that came with carrier operations. To further enhance the pilot's experience, the Bearcat was equipped with a bubble canopy, a clear, dome-shaped enclosure that provided a 360-degree view. This was important because during aerial combat, being able to see an enemy plane before they saw you could be the difference between life and death. This canopy design gave pilots a full view of the sky, helping them stay alert and ready to respond. For weaponry, the Bearcat was fitted with 4 50-caliber machine guns. These guns were mounted in the wings, and they provided the firepower needed to bring enemy planes down. Later models of the Bearcat were upgraded to carry bombs and rockets, expanding its versatility to include ground attacks. With this combination of speed, power, and agility, the Bearcat was built to be a formidable presence in the skies. The Bearcat prototype was completed in August 1944, with its first flight occurring later that month. In testing, the Bearcat quickly exceeded expectations, proving once and again that Grumman knew their stuff. With speeds reaching 421 miles per hour, the Bearcat was impressively fast. But it wasn't just fast. Its climb rate was equally impressive. In just over 90 seconds, the Bearcat could soar to 10,000 feet, roughly the altitude of commercial airliners at the time. To put it in perspective, the Bearcat could reach 10,000 feet faster than most people can brush their teeth. This remarkable climb rate made it ideal for intercepting enemy planes with unprecedented speed while solidifying its place as a formidable asset in the Navy's lineup. But its remarkable performance didn't stop there. Despite its compact design, the Bearcat had a service ceiling of nearly 39,000 feet, enough to match enemy bombers operating at high altitudes. Its range, especially with external fuel tanks, extended to about 1,105 miles, which allowed it to handle long patrols when necessary, making it a versatile force in the Navy's arsenal. Seeing its potential, the U.S. Navy quickly recognized the Bearcat as a game changer. And so, in October 1944, they placed an initial order for many Bearcats. By 1945, the Bearcat had officially entered combat service just in time for the final months of World War II. Except, by the time the Bearcat was combat ready, the war was nearing its end. The Bearcat entered service in 1945, but with the war ending soon after, it saw limited action in combat. Yet, its story was far from over. In the years that followed, the Bearcat found a new purpose. It was used extensively as a training aircraft, helping pilots transition from piston-engine fighters, like itself, to the new generation of jet fighters emerging in the post-war era. Because of its impressive speed and handling, the Bearcat was an ideal trainer for these pilots, giving them a taste of high-performance characteristics they would need in the jet age. But its service wasn't limited to the United States alone. Countries like France, Thailand, and South Vietnam also employed the Bearcat in various conflicts. The French Air Force, for instance, deployed it during the First Indochina War, where it excelled in ground attack missions, providing close air support for troops on the battlefield. These missions demonstrated that it wasn't just an excellent interceptor. It could also adapt to whatever role it was given. Beyond its military service, the Bearcat became a legend in civilian air racing. With a few modifications to reduce weight and increase engine performance, Bearcats became a dominant force in the air racing circuits for many years. One of the most famous Bearcats was called Rare Bear, a heavily modified version of the original plane. In 1989, Rare Bear set a world speed record for piston-engine aircraft, reaching over 528.33 miles per hour. This remarkable achievement came decades after the Bearcat's debut, proving that even years later, it could still break records and demonstrate unparalleled performance. Pilots who flew the Bearcat during air races loved its speed and agility, and it became an icon of the air racing world. One of the most celebrated pilots to fly the Bearcat was Bob Turner, who piloted the iconic Rare Bear to its record-breaking speed. Turner described the Bearcat as one of the finest piston-engine aircraft ever built, and his achievements in air racing were a testament to just how special this plane was. The Bearcat's performance wasn't just about power. It was about precision, agility, and the ability to push the limits of what a piston-engine fighter could do. The Bearcat's reputation wasn't confined to the air racing world alone. It was also flown by legendary military pilots. Captain Eric Brown, a British test pilot who flew nearly every notable aircraft of his era, famously described the Bearcat as one of the best piston-engine fighters ever built. Small, fast, and immensely powerful. Similarly, Lieutenant Commander Butch Voris, who led the U.S. Navy Blue Angels demonstration team, showcased the Bearcat in air shows. Voris loved the Bearcat's responsiveness and agility, which made it perfect for the tight maneuvers that the Blue Angels performed. But what made the Bearcat so special? A few standout features set it apart. First and foremost was its incredible climb rate. In aerial combat, the ability to climb quickly was a huge advantage, allowing the Bearcat to get into an attack position faster than an enemy could respond. Its short wingspan similarly enhanced its agility, enabling it to roll and turn with ease, much like a sports car in the sky. Small, fast, and exceptionally responsive. The Bearcat was also designed with the pilot in mind. The bubble canopy gave pilots a clear view in all directions, which was crucial during combat. The plane's handling characteristics made it easier to fly, especially during difficult maneuvers. Pilots often described the Bearcat as a joy to fly because it felt like the plane was responding to their every command. It was an aircraft that connected with its pilot, a plane that gave them confidence in the most challenging situations. Despite its many strengths, the Bearcat had some limitations. Its late arrival meant it didn't see the combat action it was originally intended for during World War II. In addition, the rapid advancement of jet technology soon made piston engine fighters like the Bearcat obsolete in frontline roles. However, the Bearcat's role as a trainer, its success in foreign service, and its legendary performance in air racing kept it relevant long after the war had ended. The Bearcat represented the peak of piston engine fighter design. It was the last of its kind, a plane built to achieve maximum performance just as the jet age was beginning. In many ways, it marked the end of an era, a time when raw horsepower and the skill of a pilot were the ultimate deciding factors in aerial combat. But the Bearcat also symbolized the spirit of innovation and the willingness to push the limits of what was possible. Even today, the Bearcat holds a special place in the hearts of aviation enthusiasts. It's remembered not just for its incredible performance, but the legacy it left behind. The Bearcat showed that sometimes being small but capable is exactly what you need to make a difference. It was a plane that inspired the pilots who flew it, the engineers who built it, and the spectators who watched it race across the sky. The Grumman F8F Bearcat may have arrived late to the fight, but it more than earned its place in aviation history as an icon of bravery, innovation, and excellence.